The tension in the studio was so thick it could have been cut with a knife. What began as a lighthearted conversation between Jamie Foxx and Jennifer Hudson on the Jennifer Hudson Show slowly turned into something no one in the audience, or the crew, had expected. The crowd had come in ready for laughter, music, and the easy charm both stars were known for. Jamie had arrived with his usual swagger, dressed sharply in a black suit with a faint gold trim, flashing that trademark grin that had carried him from comedy clubs to the Oscars. Jennifer, radiant in a crimson dress, welcomed him with open arms and that soulful warmth that had made her one of the most beloved hosts in daytime TV. At first, everything was picture perfect. They joked about old award shows, traded stories about their musical roots, and reminisced about singing competitions and late-night studio sessions. The audience was eating it up, cheering, clapping, laughing. But the energy shifted the moment Jennifer brought up a recent comment Jamie had made about Hollywood hypocrisy during a radio interview. "So, Jamie," she began carefully, "you've always been honest about your experiences in Hollywood. You said something recently, that sometimes telling the truth makes people uncomfortable. What did you mean by that?" Jamie leaned back, resting one arm on the couch, his smile fading slightly. "You know exactly what I meant," he said with a soft chuckle. "Hollywood's funny like that. They love you when you're smiling, but they get nervous when you start calling things out for what they are." Jennifer nodded, keeping her tone professional. "I understand that, but don't you think sometimes the way we say things matters? I mean, people listen to you, your words carry a lot of weight." Jamie tilted his head, his tone shifting from playful to pointed. "You saying I should watch my words?" Jennifer tried to keep it light. "Not at all, Jamie. I'm saying maybe," he cut her off, his voice rising just enough to silence the room. "See, that's exactly the problem. Every time a black artist speaks their truth, someone says we're being too loud, too honest, too emotional. But nobody says that when others do it." A ripple went through the audience. Jennifer's smile faltered. She had handled difficult guests before, but this was different. Jamie wasn't joking or performing, he was venting, and the tension was palpable. "I hear you," she said calmly. "But I also think we have a platform that reaches people who want hope, not anger. We can't just..." Jamie leaned forward, eyes sharp. "Hope without honesty is just sugarcoating. That's the problem. We keep pretending like everything's okay because people want a feel-good story. But the truth is, this business will chew you up and spit you out if you don't play along." The crowd was silent now. The laughter was gone, replaced by unease. The cameramen exchanged glances, unsure whether to keep rolling or cut to a break. Jennifer, maintaining her composure, said, "Jamie, I respect that. But I also believe you can speak truth with grace. We've all been through things, but we don't have to." "Grace?" Jamie interrupted again. "You think they give us grace? Come on, Jen. You've been through the same system I have. You know how it works. You either play nice or they label you difficult." Jennifer straightened in her seat, her voice calm but firmer now. "Jamie, this isn't about labels. It's about lifting people up. You can talk about what's wrong with the system, sure, but there's a way to do it without tearing everything down." Jamie gave a small, incredulous laugh. "You sound like them." The words hit her like a slap. The audience gasped audibly. Jennifer took a breath, her smile gone. "Excuse me," I said, Jamie continued. "You sound like them, like one of the folks who tell you to smile through it all and be grateful just to be here." Jennifer looked at him steadily. "Jamie, I invited you here as a friend, not an enemy. Let's not make this something it doesn't have to be." The crowd held its breath. Jamie looked away, exhaled, then looked back at her. "Respect goes both ways," he said softly, but the frustration in his tone was clear. Jennifer tried to steer the conversation back to safer ground, glancing at the cue cards on her lap. "Why don't we talk about your upcoming project?" But Jamie wasn't having it. He stood up, shaking his head. "Nah, I'm not here to sell something today. I'm here to be real. You all wanted Jamie Foxx, well, this is me. No filter." The producer in the control booth waved his hands frantically, signaling to cut to commercial, but it was too late. The live audience was witnessing it all unfold. Jennifer sat frozen, trying to maintain grace under pressure, while Jamie looked down at her, disappointment flashing across his face. "I'm done with fake conversations," he said finally, his voice echoing across the stage. "If you ever want to talk real, call me." And with that, Jamie Foxx turned and walked off the stage. The audience gasped as Jennifer sat there in stunned silence. The band's music faltered awkwardly, unsure whether to play or stop. The red, on-air, light blinked, and the moment, raw, unscripted, and unforgettable, became one that would soon ignite the internet. The clip of Jamie Foxx walking off the Jennifer Hudson Show exploded across the internet within minutes. Audience members who had filmed the moment on their phones uploaded it to TikTok and X, where it spread like wildfire. Within hours, hashtags like hashtag Jamie Foxx walks off, hashtag Jennifer Hudson Show, and hashtag Fox vs Hudson were trending worldwide. Millions watched the 40-second video. Jamie's sharp tone, Jennifer's steady but hurt expression, and his abrupt exit all became instant talking points. Comment sections filled with divided opinions, some praising Jamie for keeping it real, others defending Jennifer for handling the situation with grace under fire. Behind the scenes, the atmosphere was tense. Producers scrambled to control the narrative, editing the official broadcast to cut out most of the argument. But it was too late. The raw footage from audience phones had already done its damage. Staff members who had worked on the show that day described the atmosphere afterward as icy. Jennifer reportedly retreated to her dressing room in tears, not from anger, but from disappointment. She had always admired Jamie. They shared similar upbringings, musical roots, and journeys through Hollywood struggles. What hurt most was that she had invited him on as a friend, not an adversary. Meanwhile, Jamie left the studio visibly agitated. Paparazzi caught him outside pacing near his car, shaking his head as assistants tried to calm him down. "They always twist your words," he muttered to one of them before getting into his SUV and driving off. By the next morning, major entertainment outlets had seized on the story. TMZ, Variety, and Entertainment Tonight all ran headlines like, "Jamie Foxx walks off Jennifer Hudson's show after heated debate," and "Daytime drama, Fox vs. Hudson." Clips of the exchange were dissected on morning shows, and analysts debated whether Jamie had simply lost his cool or whether deeper frustrations were boiling beneath the surface. Jennifer broke her silence first. On Instagram, she posted a short video of herself singing a gospel line, "I'm still standing, stronger than before," followed by a message in her caption, "Sometimes conversations get hard. But I believe in grace, love, and respect, even when it's not given back." Fans flooded the comments with support. "You handled that like a queen," one wrote. "You didn't deserve that energy," said another. Jamie, on the other hand, took to social media a few hours later with a cryptic post. It was a black background with white letters that read, "Real ones don't fake smiles for the cameras." He didn't mention Jennifer by name, but everyone knew who he was referring to. His comments section became a battlefield. Supporters cheered him for being authentic, while critics accused him of disrespecting a friend on national television. 2 days later, Jamie appeared on The Culture Corner, a popular podcast known for candid celebrity interviews. When the host asked him about the incident, Jamie sighed, then leaned into the microphone. "Look," he said, "I love Jennifer. Always will. But I'm tired of the industry acting like we gotta smile through everything. I wasn't trying to disrespect her, I just got tired of pretending." That show wanted the polished version of Jamie Foxx, not the real one. His words reignited the firestorm. Some fans sympathized, saying Hollywood often punished honesty, while others said there was a difference between being real and being rude. Publicists from both sides tried to calm the chaos, but every comment, every clip, every reaction video only added fuel to the controversy. Inside industry circles, the fallout was even more dramatic. Rumors swirled that other talk shows quietly reconsidered inviting Jamie for future appearances. Executives, worried about unpredictability, labeled him volatile. Meanwhile, Jennifer's team received offers for exclusive interviews about the incident, all of which she declined. Instead, she focused on producing heartfelt episodes featuring families, teachers, and unsung heroes, subtle reminders that her platform was about uplifting voices, not fueling drama. Weeks later, the two stars finally spoke privately. According to a source close to the production, Jamie called Jennifer late one night. Their conversation was short but emotional. "I didn't mean for it to go down like that," he reportedly said. "I was just in a bad headspace." Jennifer, ever graceful, simply replied, "I know. But you hurt me, Jamie." They ended the call amicably, though the wounds were still fresh. Months passed, and the headlines faded, but the moment lived on in fan memory. Late-night comedians made jokes about it. Meme pages replayed Jamie's walk-off with dramatic music. Think pieces appeared about the day honesty clashed with diplomacy. For many viewers, the confrontation symbolized something bigger, the struggle between truth-telling and public image, between raw authenticity and the expectations of a polished, forgiving celebrity world. By the end of the year, both stars had moved on to new projects. Jennifer released a new single that fans said reflected the ordeal, a soulful anthem titled, "Let Me Be Heard." Jamie focused on his upcoming film, keeping press appearances minimal. When asked in one rare interview about the walk-off, he smiled faintly and said, "That day taught me something. Sometimes silence speaks louder than truth shouted too loud." And yet, that unfiltered moment on Jennifer's stage became one of the most talked about events in daytime TV history, not for its scandal, but for its humanity. It reminded viewers that even the brightest stars have breaking points, that fame doesn't erase frustration, and that honesty, raw, unpolished, inconvenient honesty, still has the power to shake the room. For Jennifer Hudson and Jamie Foxx, that single day blurred the line between friendship and confrontation, between art and emotion. But it also reminded the world that behind the glamour of Hollywood, real people with real feelings still stand beneath the spotlight, sometimes shining, sometimes cracking, but always human.